Hello friends, it's Lorna the Ladybird Stitcher. It's been a while. I've been away for about 6 or 7 months now. I've had a really busy last few months. We went away for 6 weeks. We went to Europe. We had our kitchen redone. I went to a retreat. Had my mother-in-law's 70th birthday. My daughter is starting school at the end of this month. That's when we start school in Australia, because that's the kind of getting towards the end of our summer. So there's been a lot going on. I was hoping to film something at last weekend. My husband and my daughter were planning to be down the south coast of New South Wales with his parents, and I would have had the house to myself for a whole weekend, and I was planning to film an update of sorts then. I'm sure you would have heard by now that Australia has been overrun by bushfires. One of the worst hit places was the south coast of New South Wales, which is where my in-laws live, and my brother-in-law, who was supposed to come up from Victoria and spend time with them that weekend as well, was turned away. He was driving up to that road, to the main road that goes in towards their house, and was turned away. The road was closed from the south, and my husband wouldn't have been able to go down from here because the road was also closed from the north. They were actually surrounded by fires. They had hoped to stay and defend their house. They've done it before, many years ago. They're obviously a lot older now, and we were starting to get worried that they'd stay down there and do something a bit silly. Like I said, they're a lot older now. They're probably not as quick on their feet. You know, if something were to happen, they may not have been able to defend themselves. We strongly encouraged them to leave and come up here. They still wanted to stay, but then the firemen, or the fire brigade, actually talked them into leaving. The fire brigade actually said, we want as few people around here as possible. So they talked them into leaving, and they came up and stayed with us over the weekend. So instead of me having the house to myself for the weekend, I ended up having a couple more people staying with us, which was fine. They went back on Monday, and their house is fine. Unfortunately, today is expected to be another day of concern for the fires. We're expecting high temperatures. New Year's Eve was probably the worst we had in 2019, although the fires had been going for a few months. The Saturday after New Year's Day, the temperatures went really high up in the high 40s Celsius. So here in I live in the Liverpool area of New South Wales, and we got to about 47 degrees Celsius, which is about, I think, 117 degrees Fahrenheit. A little bit further west of here, it got to 48, which is about 118 degrees Fahrenheit. Probably one of the hottest days ever on record ever in Australia. And the fires weren't so much fanned by the heat, but that evening a cool change came through with high winds, and they fanned the fires even more. We have a fire burning a couple of kilometres away from here, which is probably about a mile away from here. As far as I know, it's still going. That's the latest update, but it is under control, which is good. Today we're expecting mid-30s, which isn't obviously as high as the high 40s, but it's still quite hot. And then the cool change will come through this evening, and I think the cool change is causing more concern because they know that the winds will pick up, and that will increase the risks. Anyway, enough about the fires. I went to the retreat, as I mentioned, the Mittagong retreat, put on by Michelle Mitch Stitch and Kerry the Creative Curator on Instagram, and that was excellent. I'm not going to go through everything I got because I know so many other people have, and I'd just be taking up people's time just repeating what everyone else has said. It was a fantastic retreat. I believe there were just under 50 people. It was in Mittagong, which is near the main LNS in this state, I think. Victoria House Needleworks is probably the most popular, or one of the most popular. And we had a lot of fun. I'm hoping that I'll be able to go to the next one as well. I'm certainly planning to. So yeah, I won't go too much into that because, like I said, a lot of people have already covered it, and it was much more relevant, you know, 2 to 3 months ago. Not so much anymore. But yeah, let's get into stitching. So my first finish of 2019 was Heart by Create Handmade. This was a present to my daughter. The kit for this was a present to my daughter for her birthday last year, I believe. And I helped my daughter with it. Obviously, my daughter's 5 years old. I did the majority of this, but my daughter has always wanted it hanging in her room as soon as she saw it, and she couldn't wait. So she put the pressure on to have me do it for her. Which I was happy to do. I really enjoyed this. It was a nice, it's on Ada. Everything came in the kit, including the hoop, which I finished it in. So I stitched it in the hoop and then I finished it in the hoop. So it actually had a piece of thread hanging here so we could hang it off a hook. But as I was removing it to show you in this video, that piece of thread came off. So I'll have to reaffix that. But that's the first one. That was started on the 10th of September 2018 and finished on the 11th of January 2019. The next one was Weatherwise by the Prairie Schooler Alphabet, and this one was started on the 9th of November 2018 and finished on the 24th of January 2019. I believe this one is out of print, and I don't think they're gonna put it, re-release it, unfortunately. There is another, I didn't bring the chart with me, but there is another scene that goes with this on that same chart, and I plan to stitch that sometime this year. So that's that one. And that's just on a blue piece of linen that I got from Victoria House Needleworks. My third finish was a Mill Hill kit. This is called Gabrielle. That's one of the angels. I've got the other two. I think there are 3 in the set. I've got the other 2, but this is the only one I've stitched up so far. And this was started on the 26th of January 2019 and finished on the 17th of February 2019. And I've just finished her as an ornament. I've put beads on the hook, and I just put some sparkly paper on the back. So she swings off the tree like that. Okay, the next one I had was one of the Santa's Village pieces, and my goal is to finish this whole piece this year. So there it is as a whole. But the one that I actually finished was this one, which was called Santa's Stocking Store, and this is by Country Cottage Needleworks. So I've done 4, and I've done 5. I still have 7 to go, and I'm planning to do those sometime this year. I started this particular piece on the 25th of March 2019. And I finished it on the 29th of March 2019. That's that one, and that's the only one I did of that series this year. Or last year, sorry. I finished 2 Hades this year, and the first one was Story Keep Secret Door by Heaven and Earth Designs. Here's what it looked like at the start of this year. And here it is finished. This one is stitched 1/1 on 25 count Lugana. I started this one on the 23rd of August 2017, and I finished it on the 4th of April 2019. So I really enjoyed working on this one. I had hoped to get it done within a year, but that wasn't to be, but still. I'm just going to frame this one when I get around to it. So yeah, that's where that'll go, and I'll hang it up somewhere, but I'm really happy I finished that one. Next one, I did a little another Mill Hill ornament, and this is called Chick Egg. I started this one on the 19th of April and finished it on the 21st of April, both last year, 2019. And this one is completely beaded, 100% beads. So that just hangs on my wall. I don't have a tree or anything for Easter, so I just hang that on the wall. The next one was another Heaven and Earth design, and that was Stocking Faithful Friends. And here's what it looked like at the start of this year. And here it is now. So you may recall the last time I showed it to you, I had finished this but hadn't actually stitched the name yet for my daughter. I've done that now, and I thank everyone for their suggestions on how to stitch the name. I went with my original idea in the end, and that was to copy the first couple of rows up and then stitch her name over that, or within that. And I'm really happy with the way it turned out. It's not fully finished, but that will be the backing fabric that I put on there, and that's got Santa and some other Christmassy things, and it's blue, and I think it goes really well with the stocking itself. I know it's not finished for Christmas. I was hoping to finish it for Christmas, but to be honest, I needed to psych myself up a little bit more to put it through the sewing machine. So I'm doing that slowly. I'm really hesitant because I know that if I get it wrong, it's going to wreck the whole thing, and this took me a long time to stitch. So, you know, I can do it. I know I can. I just have to I think I need more practice in getting the lines straight and that kind of thing. But this one was started on the 1st of January 2015 and finished on the 9th of June 2019. So about 4.5 years for that one. Next one, Jane Austen at the Christmas Ball by Brooks Books. And at the start of the year, I think all I had was the face done. If I have a photo, I'll insert it, but I'm not sure that I do. But here she is done now. This one, you could stitch optional wings for her, and I didn't really like the idea of her being a fairy or having wings. She also had a fan that you could have attached to her as well, and I didn't like that idea either. And it's actually supposed to stand like a doll, so it came with instructions to make a stand. But instead I've turned it into an ornament, and what I found was that it was very floppy before I attached some cardstock to the back. These things, this ribbon here and the ribbon on her hair is actually DMC memory thread. I don't know if you can still get that, but I bought it as soon as I bought the chart, so I had it in my stash. I was very lucky to have that. So I started this one on 16th of December 16th of December 2017, and finished it on the 13th of September 2019. And I was very happy to have this finished. Although I've done one other Brooks Books publishing piece, and that was Mr. and Mrs. Darcy. And I really, really enjoyed that one, but I didn't really enjoy this one so much. I'm not sure why. Perforated paper doesn't usually bother me, but I didn't really enjoy this one so much. So I'm just happy she's done, and she hangs on my Christmas tree. I didn't have her finished by this Christmas. The stitching was obviously, but I didn't fully finish her until the time between Christmas and New Year. So now she's done, she'll be hanging on the tree next year, and very happy to have that finished. Then I had Strawberry Fields Forever by Blackbird Designs. And here's what it looked like at the start of this year. And here it is finished, and I'm hoping to frame this as well. This one was started on the 8th of February 2018, and I finished it on the 21st of October 2019. I can honestly say I enjoyed every stitch on this piece. I loved it. So that is Strawberry Fields Forever by Blackbird Designs. And yeah, absolutely love that one. Now at the Mittagong retreat, we had a ornament or a smalls exchange, and I stitched Love Stitching by Mill Hill, and I will insert a picture here. And that was started on the 10th of November and finished on the 12th of November 2019. I then finished Adventure Awaits by Caterpillar Cross Stitch, and I will insert a picture here of what it looked like at the start of this year. And here's how I finished it. So it's not fully finished yet, obviously, but so that one took from the 28th of July 2018 to the 28th of November 2019. I obviously was working on other things for this one. It shouldn't have taken a year, but that's how long it took for me. This was a good one to just have for something very simple. Didn't need too much brain power. I don't think there's any backstitch on this from memory. It's purely cross stitch, so it's a good one to do. And I quite like it, actually. I don't know how I'm gonna finish it. But it was fun to stitch, and I think that's the main thing. This is just this was actually gifted to me by the designer of Caterpillar Cross Stitch, Sally. So thank you, Sally. And she sent the fabric and the floss to me as well. So the fabric was Lugana. I think it was 28 count Lugana. I'm not sure what color it is, but it's a very light blue. And I think the colors stand out beautifully on it. So I think it's the recommended fabric that would come with this particular piece. My biggest finish of the year, or one of my biggest finishes of the year, and I'm so proud of this one, is the Prairie Schooler Alphabet. So I think at the start of this year I had up to maybe L finished. I'm not sure, but I know I had this whole panel finished, so this was not done during this year. And this was stitched 1/1 full crosses on 28 count Lugana, and this will fit in a standard A4 frame when I get around to it. So I've done it in 3 different panels. This is J2Q. So I think I had up to L. So the first 3, maybe the first 2 on this panel, I'm not sure. I did the ampersand block in the middle of this particular one, so it's slap bang in the middle of the alphabet. And then last but not least, R to Z. I can't say I enjoyed this one. To be honest, it did get a little bit tedious sometimes. My goal was to finish it by the end of last year, and I did have to work hard to do that. There were a couple of months where I had to actually do 2 blocks a month to do that, because I think I started it at the start of last year, or at the start of 2018, and I finished it on the 10th of December 2019. So yeah, it's a lot of block colours, which can be very tedious. The letters at the bottom of each block tend to get tedious as well when you have to do it over and over and over again. There's a lot of 3371 in this one, which is the dark brown. I think the Prairie Schooler particularly loves that colour because they seem to chart it in all the Prairie Schoolers I've ever stitched anyway, but this one had a lot of it. I ended up buying a cone because it was just so much that I was using of that colour. But yeah, I'm so happy to have it done, and I want to frame it, like I said, in 3 different panels in A4 frames, and the A4 frames are readily available from most framing shops, or even, you know, Kmart or the Reject Shop or something like that. So I think that was 12 finishes this year. I started 11 projects and I finished 12, so I'm 1 down, which is good. My goal this year is to whip down. I don't know exactly what I'm going to finish to do that, but that's my goal, to whip down a bit. I'm going to come back with a sort of a WIP parade. So all the remaining WIPs I will show you, but only the ones that I've actually worked on this year, or during 2019. If I didn't work on them, I'm not going to show them, purely because there's no change on them, so there's not really much point in showing them. So I will be back in a minute. Okay, so now we'll go through new starts that I started during 2019. I believe I had 11 new starts. I've got it listed as 14, but that includes all the Prairie Scholar Alphabet leaflets, the different leaflets. So every leaflet has 3 blocks. So I obviously started quite a few of those during the year, but I think it ended up being 11 new starts. So this one is Flowers of the Holy Night by Glendon Place. And I've made a very small start on this on the 1st of January 2019. I started this, and that's all I've done so far. This is on a sparkly piece of Lugana, I think. And I am using the cord 4 threads on this one. So that's all I've done. But I'm hoping to get back to this at some point this year. I don't need to do Christmas stitching during Christmas. I'm not like that. So I don't mind that I'll be stitching this outside of the Christmas season. I don't mind that at all. So I do hope to spend some more time on that one this year. And I'm going to be putting things away as I go, because there's just so much that along with WIPs, there's just going to be a lot to do otherwise afterwards. And I still have a lot to do today. So the second one was Gabrielle by Mill Hill, which I showed you during the last segment, the finishing segment. The next one was Santa's Stocking Store, which I showed you again as part of Santa's Village. And again, my goal for that one for this year will be to finish that whole project, so the rest of the blocks. The next one was Chick Egg by Mill Hill. Again, that was started and finished this year, so I've already shown you that one. Next one was Tudor Maiden by The Primitive Hare, and this one was a new release this year. It was released at market, I believe. It will look like that when it's finished. And here's what I've done so far. I started this one at my Mittagong retreat that I go to with a group of friends, not the one in November, but the one where a group of 9 or 10 of us hire a house and stay there for a weekend together. So I started that with those lovely ladies, and I've just done the top Tudor rows there. So this shouldn't take me too long to finish if I just get down to it. So I might spend a bit more time on it this year, hopefully. Maybe it'll be one I take with me to the retreat and stitch on every year until it's done. That could be an idea. The next one was Stitch or Die Pin Cushion by Heartstrings Samplery, I think. Yeah. This was a gift from my friend Tash, the Starcross Stitcher, and she gave that to everyone who attended the smaller Mittagong retreat. I'll take that out of the packet. So that's what it will look like when it's finished. So she gifted us the chart, the fabric and the thread for this one. And so I started this one on at the retreat as well. and it's really fun to do just in front of the TV. It's a nice simple one. So I'm not sure what the fabric is. I think it might be a 32 count linen, I think, but that's what I've got so far. So not much left on that one, and I think I can manage to finish that one this year as well. And again, it might be another one I take with me to the retreat. And I just wanted to show you this bag. This was a gift. I think I showed it in my last video actually. This was a gift from the lovely Teresa Craig, and she comes to that retreat as well. And this was a lovely gift made by Taryn from Teaser Handmaids. And it's got ladybirds on it, and they both know I love ladybirds, so they picked this fabric especially for me, and I love it. The next one, we decided to do a round robin during that retreat, and so someone within the group has my stitching at the moment, and I have someone else's that I'm stitching on. The one I chose was the Sampler Company's Red House Sampler, I think it is. Yep, Red House Sampler, designed by Brenda Keys, but it's part of the Sampler Company, and that's what it will look like when it's finished. I don't have that one, so I can't show you what it is, but I'm stitching it on 27 count Lugana, I believe. It's an odd cut fabric that I managed to get from Victoria House Needleworks, but it's a really pretty colour that I thought would make the colours pop on that one. And then I started Day and Night by Long Dog Samplers on the 30th of August, and here's what it will look like when it's finished. I haven't done much on this one yet. I do hope to spend more time on it again this year. I'm stitching this one on a piece of 20 count Lugana, which I got from 123 Stitch, and that's all I've got so far. So not much, but I'll just work on it when I can. It's going to turn out really nice, but it's not one I want to rush. I really would want to enjoy this one. So yeah, that'll be fun, I think, to work on. So that's Day and Night by Long Dog Samplers. I also started on that same day Story Keep Bell by Heaven and Earth Designs, and I will insert a picture of what that will look like here. And I've got a tiny little start. That's about 300 or 400 stitches there. I'm doing this one as a sell with my friend Robin. She is also stitching, she's stitching Story Keep Pocahontas by the same artist. Unfortunately, we're both stuck on background at the moment, and background isn't very exciting, and that's why it's kind of slow going at the moment. So again, I hope to spend more time on this one this year and hopefully get a bit more progress on it. And then while I was away on holidays, I started Victoria House by Mill Hill, and I will insert a picture of what that looks like here because I didn't take the kit packaging with me and I'm not sure where it got to. So I'll insert a picture here of what it will look like. And here's where it is at the moment. So I got a little bit of this done in the car while my husband drove us around Europe, and I refuse to drive on the right hand side of the road. We drive on the left here in Australia, and while he was driving, looking out the window was terrifying because I kept thinking we were going the wrong way. So yeah, I don't drive while we're overseas, but my husband's quite happy to. He used to live in America. He did so for a couple of years. So he's quite comfortable doing it, and I'm happy to leave the driving to him. So that's where that is at the moment. And then I started Love Stitching by Mill Hill again, which I don't have anymore, and I will insert a picture here of what that looks like. Now, I didn't want to go through everything I got from the retreat because it's been put away. I just don't have the time either to get everything out and show you again. And also, like I said, a lot of stuff has already been shown by a lot of other people that went to the retreat. I did want to show you this though. So the Love Stitching piece was a part of a smalls exchange, and what we did was we wrapped it up as a present, put it on the gift table, and then as your name was called out, you get to choose which package you wanted to take. And I randomly chose a package that looked nicely wrapped and had everything that I thought I'd take that one. And I happened to pick out my friend Claire, who is the Pyrex Stitcher here on YouTube. I happened to pick her project, and she made this lovely biscornu. She's much more talented at finishing than I am, and I love this. This is the biscornu she made, and I just happened to pick hers, and I love that that happened because I have something that a friend of mine made, and I'm really happy about that. And you know, a lot of those people are now my friends, but I've known Claire for a little bit longer, I guess, than a lot of those other people, so it was extra special. And so that's really nice. I love that. And it also came with some chocolate, which is long gone. I'm a chocoholic, so chocolate doesn't last long around me. So that's it for the new starts, and I will be back with all the WIPs that I worked on during the year. Okay, so this will be the last segment of this video. I don't know how long I've been going for. I've been stopping and starting, but hopefully this will be when I show you the WIPs that I worked on this year. I have to say, when I was getting them ready, the majority of them are Mirabilias. Probably not a surprise to most of you, but yeah, I did spend a lot of time on Mirabilias last year. So I think I've got them more or less in alphabetical order just because that's the way I've noted them down. So other than that, there's no particular order. Once again, I will be putting them away as I go because there's so many of them. So I hope that doesn't bother anyone. Okay, let's get started. So the first one is Andromeda. And so here's what it looked like at the start of this year. This is what it looks like so far. So I don't think I've worked on it that much. This is being stitched on 32 count Summer Sky, which I got from 123 Stitch. It's a beautiful piece of fabric. I actually stitched Emerald Mermaid on this fabric as well. So it was actually the other half that was attached to this side. So it's really beautiful piece of fabric and very easily available from 123 Stitch. I'm pretty sure they still have it. Yeah, it goes well with mermaids and lots of other Mirabilias as well. So that's Andromeda. One of my kind of lofty goals is to finish a Mirabilia. I've got 8 on the go at the moment. I definitely don't want to start any more just yet. But one of my lofty goals is to finish one, and that might be a contender because it's smaller than the others. That's probably the smallest Andromeda, smallest Mirabilia that I have at the moment. Okay, the next one is another Mirabilia. It's Autumn Queen. It's that one. And here's what it looked like at the start of this year. And here's what that looks like now. So I believe I had the face and probably the neck done at the beginning of this year, and I managed to work down to the middle point of the chart there. So if you know Mirabilia charts, they come double-sided. So this is the entire first or front page of that chart. So all I have to worry about is the bottom now, but the bottom is quite substantial as well. So I've only got up to about there, so I've still got all of this to go, which is quite substantial. So slowly, I'll be working on this one in autumn, Australia's autumn, which is only about 6 weeks away, I think. Can't wait. Next one I had is Cinderella on the Stairs. It's a mini by Heaven and Earth Designs. Here's what it will look like when it's finished. And here's what it looked like at the start of this year. That's where it is now. So that's where it is now. This is the only full coverage piece I'm doing on 18 count Aida. Normally my preferred one is 25 count 1/1. This is 18 count 2/1. I find that this one's a lot more pixelated than the ones I do on 25 count. But sometimes if my eyes are tired, I will pull this one out and work on it. I don't even think I managed a page in 2019, but I did finish 2 other Hades, so I'm not too concerned about that, but I do want to spend a bit more time on it this year, along with so many others. Is Enchanted Mermaid. This is one of my favorites of the Mirabilias. This one, I purchased this one at the Mirabilia retreat that I went to in February 2018, and I started it on Belinda and Itch to Cross Stitch's birthday that same year. She's finished hers and it looks absolutely stunning. Here's where mine looked like at the start of this year. And it is still very much a WIP. I'd love to finish it soon, or at least get all the stitching done so I can start on the beading. But I've still got a long way to go. But here she is. She's absolutely stunning. If I had my time again and my choice, I would have stitched this on blue, I think, on a blue fabric. But I think she looks just fine on this. I don't stitch 1/1 skin, at least I haven't to date. I might try it in the future. Sorry about that, but I received a phone call. I'm filming on my phone and I received a phone call. So I think I just showed you Enchanted Mermaid. So that was that one. After that, there is Juliet by Children Crafts, and here's what Juliet will look like when it's finished. Here's what Juliet looked like at the start of this year. And here's what it looks like now. I think I only managed 1 page on this one this year. I had spent a lot of time on it the year before, and I would like to spend a bit more time on it this year. I would like to finish that row, that second row there of pages, so we'll see how we go. That's a lofty goal though. I'm pretty sure this year's going to be a lot busier than last year. With my daughter going to school, I plan on returning to work, and so I'll probably have a bit less time to stitch. And I mean, I don't know how that's going to work out, but yeah, it's we'll just have to work around it, I guess. Okay, the next one's Lady Mirabilia, and that one will look like this when it's finished. I love this one. It's beautiful. I started it late in 2018, and here's what it looked like at the start of this year. And here's what it looks like now. I will note below what the name of this fabric is. It's by Colour Cascades. It's a 28 count opal Lugana. It's absolutely stunning. It's a very saturated blue. It's a bit more saturated than it's showing up on the screen, but it's beautiful. And it's another one I want to spend more time on this year. So we'll see how we go. Next one is Ladybird Fairy by Joan Elliott Designs, and that's what it will look like when it's finished. And here's what it looked like at the beginning of this year. And here's where she is at the moment. I work on this usually in July, or for Joan Elliott July. I think I finished the wings on her this year. This particular colour fabric is Jaded by Colour Cascade Fabrics. It's 28 count opal Lugana. She's a stunning piece, but I have to admit I don't enjoy working on it that much. I really love the way Joan Elliott designs her pieces. I love the way they look. I just don't seem to like working on them as much. And I think that's because of the amount of backstitch. I think Joan Elliott uses more backstitch than Mirabilia. So I prefer working on Mirabilias to Joan Elliott's. I understand that I'm well and truly aware of how much backstitch adds to a piece, but I'm not a big fan of actually working on it. So next one is Spring Queen by Mirabilia. Doesn't look like I brought the picture for this one, so I'll insert a picture here of what it looks like. Here's what it looked like at the start of the year. I haven't done much, I don't think, to this one. I did hope to finish up to the middle, but I didn't get around to it. Here's what it looks like at the moment. So there's still the bouquet to go over here. So I really would like to get that done before next spring, so that I can start at the middle like I do with all my other seasonal pieces. And then there's quite a bit to go at the bottom, but I'll work on it slowly this year. So I'll work on it during spring, Australian spring, which isn't for another 9 months. So also September is when we start spring. This piece is on, I think this was a fabric of the month by Colour Cascade Fabrics, so I don't know what the colour is, but it's a lovely purple. Next one is Summer Queen by Mirabilia, and again I don't think I have the picture of what that will look like when it's finished. Nope, I don't think it's in there. So here's what it will look like when it's finished. And here's what it looked like at the start of this year. And here she is now. And this is called Indian Sunset. It's a 28 count Lugana from Colour Cascade Fabrics. No, actually this is not a Lugana, it's actually a Monaco. It feels a lot thicker than a Lugana. So yeah, she's another stunning piece. And again, I've managed to work down to the middle of this one. So the front page is done. I just have to do the back page now, which is no small feat, but you know, the back page is quite detailed and does have a lot of stitching. So, you know, I'll have to work on it slowly again, like all the others. And so my goal is to finish at least one Mirabilia piece and get the others to a stage where I can probably finish them within the next couple of years. I don't want to have 8 Mirabilias on the go ever again. I think that's way too much for me. I know a lot of people manage it quite well, but it does stress me out a little bit. So I would like to whip down a little bit, especially the Mirabilia department. Another one is Villa Mirabilia. And this one is out of print. So that's what it will look like when it's finished. And here's what it looked like at the start of this year. Here is where it is now. This is also a 28 count Lugana from Colour Cascade Fabrics. I will insert the name of it down below because I don't have that with me. I don't know what that is. It's a huge piece. This one is actually on a fat quarter, whereas most of the others are on a fat half. Sorry, this one is on a fat half. I think most of the others are on a fat quarter. So it is a huge piece, and I'm just enjoying the process on this one. I don't really have any goals of getting it done anytime soon. I know that's not going to happen, but it's a beautiful piece and I'm just enjoying working on it when I can. Last but definitely not least is Winter Queen by Mirabilia, and that's that one. And here's what it looked like at the start of this year. And here's where that is now. And that one is, again, pretty close to the center point of the project. I love this one. It's beautiful. I love the fabric I'm working on, which is a Monaco, 28 count Monaco. What color is it? It's a mystery fabric. Oh no, sorry, it's Fairies Wear Boots. I did get it as a mystery fabric, but it's called Fairies Wear Boots by Colour Cascade Fabrics. It's beautiful. And again, I will be working on this one during Australian winter. So all these seasonal queens, I started with Belinda Aussie Stitcher, and I like to pull them out during that particular season and work on them then. And I tried to spend as close to 2 weeks on each one as I possibly could this year, and I think I managed that for most of them, at least the seasonal queens, not so much the other ones. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. If you stuck with me to the end, thank you so much. I'm not sure when I'll be back. I'm working on a secret project at the moment, so I don't want to show that just yet. I won't be able to show that for a few months. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for commenting and liking and subscribing. I'll see you when I see you. Take care. Bye everyone.